What it is, focus your homeboy first. Back again with another Put It On Something exclusive. As we keep this thing moving with this project. Who's the GOAT QB? Y'all see who we talking about today. Terry Bradshaw. We're going to look at his resume. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know about Terry Bradshaw, Steeler fans going to be quite pissed at you. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is from their glory years. Like the real. Well, the Steelers been pretty consistent through the 90s, 2000, on up into 2010, on up into now. You feel me? But we talking about them 1970s. This the Steelers your uncle and them be talking about. This the old Steelers. This why the old heads be rocking that black and gold so hard. Because these motherfuckers right here. And Terry Bradshaw was their quarterback. You feel me? But before we get into it, I got to tell y'all this is sponsored by Statement Tees. That Statement Tees, every t-shirt you wear makes a statement. You know what I'm saying? And y'all see the statement I'm making right now? You know what I'm saying? I'm the legend. My son got a shirt just like this that says The Legacy. You feel me? If you want to make that statement, shit, y'all hit us up. You can go to statementteesllc.com or shit, just hit us up in the inbox on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know what I'm saying? However y'all want to get at us, just hit us up, you know what I'm saying? And we can let you and your child make that same statement. You feel me? All right, so let's get into Terry Bradshaw, man. Terry Bradshaw played 14 seasons from 1970 to 1983, all with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I'm saying? Now, y'all that may not know Terry Bradshaw from his playing days. If you watch football, you probably know him as an analyst on Fox. You know what I'm saying? Very colorful analyst on Fox. But in terms of him as a quarterback, from what I saw, everybody telling me he had a strong arm, telling me he was very elusive. You know what I'm saying? So let's run some numbers on Terry Bradshaw and let's see. All right, so Terry Bradshaw did win an MVP. All right, won an MVP in 1978. He was in the Hall of Fame class of 1989. Won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? 1974, 1975, 1978, 1979. Like, you can't tell your granddad them shit about them 1970 Steelers. Because they were that shit. And Terry Bradshaw was their quarterback. All right. He made 4 Super Bowl appearances. And as you can see, won all of them. 4-0. All right. Playoff record was 14-5. Playoff passing yards 3,833. Playoff passing yards per game 201.7. All right, so he did crack 200. Playoff touchdowns 30. Playoff picks 26. Playoff passer rating was 83. Regular season record was 107-51. All right, so that's stellar. The regular season passing touchdown was 212, and when he retired, well, at the time that he retired, that was ranked ninth. It's now ranked tied for 38th. You know what I'm saying? But you know that's gonna keep going down because these boys airing this bitch out. Regular season picks, he threw 210. All right, so he threw a bunch of them bitches. He was ranked 12th at the time he retired. Now 22nd. Now this was fucking crazy that I saw. In his rookie season, bro, he threw only 6 touchdowns to 24 picks. You feel me? And shit, he had 5 seasons that he was underwater on. Like, when I say underwater, I mean 5 seasons in which he threw more picks than he threw touchdowns. So, Terry, I guess with that strong arm, I guess he didn't think that there was a throw he couldn't make. Like, he gonna try to fit that motherfucker on in there, I suppose. Passing yards, he threw for 27,989. That was good for a ranking of 13th. When he retired, he's now 62nd. Regular season passing yards per game, 166.6. All right, so not much again, but it's a different era. They're running that bitch. Regular season passer rating was 70.9. That was ranked 28th when he retired, so not that good. Is now tied for 155. Rushing yards, he ran for 2,257. Like I told y'all, for his day, people consider him pretty elusive. He ran for 32 touchdowns. All right, so those were the numbers. Let's get into the meat of this motherfucking project, as I told y'all on all the other ones, and hopefully y'all go back and check out the other joints. Go back and check out the other joints. I've gone all the way back for y'all. You feel me? I've already chronicled Sammy Barr, Otto Graham, Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, Fran Tarkenton, Joe Namath, Roger Staubach, all these motherfuckers. And with each one, I not only run down the numbers, you feel me? I went and did the research to actually see what they had around them. Because as I keep saying in this project, football is the ultimate team game. Ultimate team game. So let's look at Terry Bradshaw's team. Now, if you're going to talk about the 1970 Steelers, you can't do it unless you talk about that steel curtain defense. You can't do it. You feel me? So let's look at how many top 10 scoring defenses Terry Bradshaw was blessed to have. All right. Out of his 14 seasons, he was blessed to have 9 top 10 scoring defenses. All right. And the steel curtain was number 1 overall in 1976, number 1 in 1978 as well. And they had numerous number 2 finishes. All right. Y'all know about them legends, Mean Joe Green and them. All right. And where I'm from, Canton, Mississippi, this man needs to be a Hall of Famer. L.C. Greenwood. L.C. Greenwood. If you don't know him, go look him up. He needs to be a Hall of Famer from that team. Quit shitting on him, Hall of Fame committee. Fuck wrong with y'all. But I digress. All right, let's look at the rushing offenses that Terry Bradshaw was blessed to have. All right, let's see how many were top 10. Again, played 14 seasons, and he was blessed to have 10 top 10 rushing offenses at his disposal. All right, they were number 1 in 1976, and they were number 2 numerous times. So, for back then, especially, and that's why you hear old school coaches always say, hey, we need to play good defense and run the football. Play good defense and run the football, because that's really how they got down back then. You know what I'm saying? If I can make a comparison to basketball, it's kind of like back in the gap, you're going to play through the post. Let's get the ball inside. Quit jacking up all them long shots. That's how that basketball used to be. Well, back in the gap, football used to be run that motherfucking football, pass it only if we need to. And we're going to play good defense, and we're going to win some championships. And them 1970 Steelers were great at it. That's the team of that decade. Let's look at Terry Bradshaw's coach, a guy who I don't think he gets enough credit based on what I've learned about him. That's Chuck Noll. All right. He was in the Hall of Fame class of 1993. He was the leader of all those 4 Super Bowl teams. And old Chuck and Terry Bradshaw could not fucking stand each other. Okay. This part of the story was very intriguing to me, because, you know, football is so militaristic and very organized and so strategic. And it seems like, bro, you gotta have some kind of camaraderie on the team. At least, let's just say respect. Gotta have some kind of respect. And especially with your head coach and quarterback. But these two did not like each other. They were just very, very, very different. See, Bradshaw, from what I understand, he wanted a players coach like the one he had in college. You know what I'm saying? The cat he had in college would tell him encouraging things. You know what I'm saying? And he go out there and fuck up. He just say, hey, man, it's going to be all right type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But Chuck Noll wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? He was no nonsense. He ain't got time for that bullshit. Terry Bradshaw, you know what I'm saying, wants to be fun loving and do all this kind of shit. And, you know, this man wasn't trying to hit it. Terry Bradshaw was thought to not be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay. And, you know, I'll get into some of that later. But in contrast, Chuck Noll was like a Renaissance type of motherfucker. He reads and plays instruments and he does all this shit and drinking his wine and all that kind of shit. So they were two different cats, man. You know what I'm saying? Chuck Noll actually benched Terry Bradshaw at the beginning of the 1974 season. You know what I'm saying? And he went on to reinstall him mid-season. But like, imagine that shit, bro. Like, imagine that shit going down today on one of the major teams. You know, that shit'd be crazy on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But they did go on to win the Super Bowl that year. They beefed in the newspaper and shit during Bradshaw's last season. Like Bradshaw was hurt most of the season. And like he felt like Noel wasn't really like reaching out to him to kind of show that, bro, we need you. You know what I'm saying? We want you to come on out here. You know, Chuck Noll was just kind of like, oh, you hurt, so okay. And all this shit caused Terry Bradshaw to turn his back on the Steelers for like damn near 20 years after he retired. You know what I'm saying? This is the one of the faces of their team. I guess, you know, more real ones would say Joe Green was face of the team. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Steel Curtin is what really carried that team. But hey, he was a fucking quarterback. He won the MVP. So look at this shit, man. This crazy. Like, let's say arguably, the face of the team turned his back on the team for 20 years, and that's a flagship team. After what the Steelers did in those 70s, the Steelers became one of the flagship teams in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? We know about the Cowboys fan base, but Steelers got a hell of a fan base too. If you just watch the Hall of Fame inductions, them motherfuckers out there going crazy with those terrible ties for Troy Polamalu. You know what I'm saying? So they for real, for real. And Terry Bradshaw wasn't fucking with nobody, fucking with the city, none of that shit. Like, when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he did not have a Steeler induct him into the Hall of Fame. He had one of his colleagues from TV, Vern Lundquist. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Vern Lundquist. Y'all know that motherfucker. Y'all seen him if you watched the game. That's who Terry Bradshaw had put him in the Hall of Fame. Not the team, not any of his teammates, none of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even go back to Art Rooney's funeral. You know, Art Rooney, legendary owner for the Steelers. So he really didn't fuck with them. Now, he later revealed, and I can respect this shit again, mental health advocate. Shout out to all y'all motherfuckers out here really trying to deal with your mental health. Terry Bradshaw did reveal later that he suffers from depression. You know what I'm saying? So that may have played a role into some of the beef he had with Chuck Noll, because maybe he did need that little, you know what I'm saying, that little something from his head coach. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're the quarterback, he had them rough years like he had, like I said, all those seasons, throwing all those picks and all that shit. I'm sure the newspapers were ripping them and all that kind of shit, and people calling them dumb. You know, he probably needed some encouragement, you know what I'm saying? But I wish him luck, you know what I'm saying, his bouts with depression and shit like that. Shout out to everybody dealing with mental health issues. But contrary to what's known about him or the caricature of Terry Bradshaw, he did call his own plays, okay, which many of them QBs did back in that era. But even with him calling his own plays, like I said, he was still labeled a dumb quarterback. Even to the point where, famously, Dallas Cowboy player Hollywood Henderson once said before Super Bowl 13 that if you spotted Terry Bradshaw, the C and the T, he still couldn't spell cat. If you spotted him, the C and the T, this motherfucker couldn't spell cat. Hollywood Henderson, boy, you a hell of a troll for that one. But Terry Bradshaw said, fuck all that. And he went out there in that Super Bowl and threw for 304 touchdowns. And both of those numbers were the first time he had done that shit in his career. So I get Terry Bradshaw like, you lay and laugh now, motherfucker, and won Super Bowl MVP. All right. And he would go on to kind of just play off of that shit. When you see him on TV, he kind of plays off of that, and then in corporate worlds, and like he did commercials, kind of playing off the dumb quarterback shit. Made money off of it. All right, but let's look at his offensive teammates. I've already touched on how that Steel Curtain was a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And that Steel Curtain was so nice that they whole defense deserves like a rewind. Like I may have to do who's the GOAT defense one day. Like 70 Steel Curtain versus the 2000 Ravens and shit like that, or the 80s Bears, 70s Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So they deserve a deep dive. But right now, let's look at some of the offensive teammates that Terry Bradshaw had. All right, the notable ones. All right, so Franco Harris, Hall of Fame running back. All right, played with Bradshaw from 1972 to 1983. He had 8 1,000-yard seasons with the Steelers, and he's best known for the immaculate reception. All right, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go on YouTube, type in immaculate reception, and that's one of the most legendary plays in football history. Shout out to Franco motherfucking Harris. All right. Terry Bradshaw also played with Hall of Fame wide receiver John Stallworth. Played with Bradshaw from 1974 to 1983. Now, when he retired, he held the Steelers records for catches, yards, and touchdowns. Okay? His teammate, who I'm about to talk about in a minute, Lynn Swann, he gets all the hype and hoopla and shit like that. But John Stallworth was the one with the motherfucking numbers. Okay? Shout out to John Stallworth. All right. Terry Bradshaw also played with Hall of Fame wide receiver Lynn Swann, as I just alluded to. He played with Bradshaw from 1974 to 1982, and he's known for his highlight reel catches. All right, so that's why he's the one that gets all the publicity and shit like that. Like he had the spectacular catches, the kind of like Odell is today. You know what I'm saying? Odell was getting numbers too. Don't get me wrong. Before he started getting dinged up and all that kind of shit. But y'all know how Odell stands out more than even Julio to the average fan because of that highlight catch he had against Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So same kind of shit. Lynn Swann was known for being graceful and all that kind of shit. And you can throw it up to him, he go get. All right. And this guy was one of Terry Bradshaw's teammates. Hall of Fame center, Mike Webster. He played with Bradshaw from 1974 to 1983. He was a 7-time All-Pro. Durable as fuck. He only missed 4 games in 16 seasons in the league. That's at center. When you're doing this every fucking play. Every play is a car crash. And I think that played a role in his death. Mike Webster is the subject of great movie called Concussion, starring Will Smith. Some of Will's best work. Some of Will's most important work. As somebody who loves the game of football. That movie really fucked me up. Because seeing how the NFL tried to hide all this shit about concussions and seeing how concussions fucked up Mike Webster. Whew, it do something to you. Y'all check that shit out. Check out Concussion. Starring Will Smith. Check out the documentary that does an even better job of talking about Mike Webster and all these other players who've donated their brains to science to really study what the fuck is going on with these former NFL players and CTE. All right, because Mike Webster died at 50, and for a guy who was so beloved by the city of Pittsburgh, it's real fucked up what happened with Mike Webster, man. They just let you know that game that we all love to watch, man. It's really a gladiator sport, bro. Them motherfuckers out there putting their bodies on the line for real, for real. So that's why, I'm rooting for the NFLPA. I hope that the labor union can get something better for them and, get them some more guaranteed money and better healthcare post-career. Because once you see what I'm talking about with Mike Webster, you're going to see, man, this shit fucked up for them. You know what I'm saying? But during his playing career, Mike Webster was a bad motherfucker from everything I'm reading and watching. You feel me? But there it is, y'all. All right, we got another one. That's Terry Bradshaw. All right, so 4 Super Bowls, y'all. 4 Super Bowls, 4-0. Everybody be basing this GOAT shit just off Super Bowls. So if Terry Bradshaw wanted to walk in the room and say, motherfucker, I got 4 of them bitches with no losses. What's up? What y'all gonna do? You gonna start getting into some other details? What y'all gonna do? All right, that's what I'm saying. Dig deeper than just the Super Bowl. Really look at these guys' resume. You know what I'm talking about? And tell me what you think. Now I know Steelers Nation, y'all gonna ride for your boy. I'm assuming y'all gonna ride for your boy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Steelers Nation, do y'all got Terry over Ben Roethlisberger? I would like to know that. You feel me? But rest of America and worldwide, y'all tell me what y'all think about Terry Bradshaw's resume. Does he have a claim to the GOAT QB? Appreciate y'all for fucking with me. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all share this shit to as many motherfuckers as possible. And hopefully I've helped you in your barbershop discussions about who's the GOAT QB. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit StatementTeesLLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.